let's talk about the single most incredible engine you will ever own, your heart. It's this relentless, unbelievably powerful pump that works every single second of every day for your entire life. But have you ever stopped to think about just how much work it's really doing?
Okay, get ready for this number. 2.6 million gallons. In just 1 year, your heart pumps enough blood to fill more than 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools. I mean, just let that sink in for a moment. It's an absolutely staggering amount.
And here's the kicker. It does all of that with an organ that's only about the size of your clenched fist. It is an absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. So you know what? Let's take a closer look and see exactly how it pulls this off. All right, first things first, let's get our bearings. We need to see where this little powerhouse actually lives and what it's made of.
So your heart is tucked away super securely inside your chest, right there between your lungs. It's positioned just a little bit to the left, and it's protected by your breastbone and your ribcage. It's in the perfect spot, really, a very secure home for such a critical organ.
Now, the wall of the heart itself is this amazing 3-layered structure. You've got a protective outer layer, that's the epicardium, and a super smooth inner lining called the endocardium. But the real star of the show, the one doing all the heavy lifting, is that middle layer, the myocardium. This is the thick, powerful muscle that contracts over and over to pump all that blood.
And now it's time for the main event. We are going to follow a single imaginary drop of blood on its non-stop, looping journey right through the heart and out to the rest of the body.
You can think of this journey as happening on 2 totally separate but connected highways. The right side of the heart, which you see here in blue, handles what's called the pulmonary circuit. Its only job is to send that used oxygen-poor blood on a quick trip to the lungs. Meanwhile, the left side, in red, powers the much bigger systemic circuit, pushing all that fresh, oxygenated blood out to every single other part of your body.
So our little drop of blood starts its journey on the blue side. This is the deoxygenated blood coming back from the body, and it flows into the top right chamber, the right atrium. From there, it drops through a one-way door, the tricuspid valve, into the right ventricle below. With a good squeeze, that ventricle pushes the blood through another valve, the pulmonary valve, and sends it straight to the lungs to get that all-important oxygen refill. Okay, freshly refueled. That now bright red, oxygen-rich blood comes back from the lungs and enters the heart's left side, in the left atrium. It flows down through the mitral valve into the true powerhouse of the heart, the left ventricle. And with one massive, powerful contraction, this ventricle blasts the blood through the aortic valve and into the aorta, which is the body's main highway, sending it on its way to every single cell you have, from your brain all the way down to your toes.
This is such a cool view. Looking down from the top, you can see the heart's 4 critical valves. You gotta think of them as perfect little one-way doors. These flaps of tissue open to let the blood surge forward, and then they snap shut instantly to make sure not a single drop can flow backward. It's this precise timing that makes the heart so incredibly efficient.
So, how do these doors stay shut when there's so much pressure? Well, it's a brilliant design. Tiny little tendons called chordae tendinei are attached to the bigger valves. They work just like parachute strings. When the ventricle contracts and pressure builds, these cords are pulled tight by little muscles, which keeps the valve flaps from bulging or flipping open the wrong way. It's simple, and it's absolutely flawless.
Okay, so we have this incredible mechanical pump, right? But what actually powers it? What gives it the spark that tells it when to beat? Well, the answer is pretty amazing. The heart has its own internal electrical system. That's right, the heart actually generates its own electricity. The command to beat starts in this tiny little cluster of cells up in the right atrium called the SA node. This is your body's natural pacemaker. From here, an electrical impulse spreads out like a wave, first telling the atria to contract, and then traveling down a very specific pathway to trigger the big, powerful ventricles.
And that one electrical signal creates one complete heartbeat, which we call the cardiac cycle. It has 2 main parts. First up is systole. That's the contracting and squeezing phase. The lub sound you hear is literally the sound of those first 2 valves snapping shut. Then comes diastole, the relaxation phase where the heart refills. The dub sound, that's the other 2 valves closing. So lub-dub, that's contraction, relaxation, over and over and over again.
So all this constant contracting and relaxing obviously generates a lot of force. Let's connect the dots now between the anatomy we just talked about and the whole concept of blood pressure.
You know, have you ever wondered why the heart looks a little lopsided? Well, there's a really good reason. The muscle wall of the left ventricle is about 3 times thicker than the right one. Why? Because the right ventricle only has to pump blood right next door to the lungs. That's a pretty low-pressure trip. But the left ventricle, it has the massive job of generating enough force to push blood through the entire body. It's just a much, much bigger job, so it needs a much bigger muscle.
And that incredible force generated by the left ventricle, that's exactly what we measure as blood pressure. The top, higher number is your systolic pressure. That's the peak force when the heart is contracting, during systole. And the bottom, lower number, is the diastolic pressure. That's the pressure that's still in your arteries while the heart is relaxing and refilling during diastole. See? It all connects.
Just take a second and let these numbers really hit you. Your heart beats over 100,000 times in a single day. That works out to be almost 40 million times a year, and nearly 3 billion times over a 75-year life. It is just a staggering testament to the endurance of this amazing organ.
So, the next time you feel your pulse, just take a moment to appreciate the perfectly synchronized marvel that makes it all happen. It's a mechanical pump and an electrical generator so perfectly designed that it maintains a flawless rhythm for your entire lifetime, and you never, ever have to think about it. It truly is the unstoppable engine of life.